There is a strange paradox at the core of human existence. The more we run after love, the further it seems to drift away. Like a shadow that flees from the hand that tries to seize it, love retreats when it is hunted. Many people spend their entire lives chasing after affection, approval, and validation from others, yet in doing so they only deepen their own emptiness. This pursuit leaves them weary, resentful, and dependent, never truly fulfilled. If you want to discover real love, you must stop the chase. You must allow love to find you, not as a beggar reaching for scraps, but as a whole being radiating from the center of your own soul. Carl Jung once said that the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. And perhaps this is why so many avoid it. It is easier to run into the arms of others, to make them responsible for our sense of worth, than to face the unlit corners of our own psyche. But until you turn inward and embrace who you truly are, the shadow, the wounds, the brilliance, and the flaws, love will remain elusive. It will appear as a mirage, as something always outside of you, always in someone else's eyes, someone else's touch. You will keep running, desperate, thirsty, exhausted. The first truth to recognize is that love is not a treasure to be found in another person. It is not some missing half that completes you. This is one of the greatest illusions that enslaves the human spirit. Fairy tales, romantic movies, and cultural myths have told us that we are incomplete until another rescues us, kisses us, or chooses us. But Jung's psychology reminds us that the task of individuation, becoming a whole person, is to realize that you already contain within yourself both the masculine and the feminine, the light and the dark, the longing and the fulfillment. Chasing love outside of you is often just a projection of the unlived parts of your own soul. When you meet someone who dazzles you, who makes your heart race, what you are often experiencing is not their reality, but your projection. You have cast upon them an image of what you believe you lack. This is why the chase feels intoxicating. You are not only running toward them, you are running toward the missing pieces of your inner life. Yet no human being can carry that projection forever. At some point, the image breaks and the person becomes simply who they are, flawed, human, imperfect. And if you have built your sense of love on chasing that projection, the collapse leaves you shattered. You begin the cycle again, searching for another figure to bear your illusions. The second truth is that the pursuit of love often masks a deeper fear, the fear of solitude. Many people cannot sit with themselves. Silence terrifies them. Emptiness feels unbearable. They rush into relationships not out of genuine love, but to fill the aching void of their own unexamined soul. Yet Jung insisted that solitude is essential to transformation. Only in solitude do we confront our shadow, the parts of ourselves we reject and try to bury. If you flee from solitude by endlessly chasing another person, you postpone your own growth. You remain trapped in dependence, like a child who cannot sleep without the light on. It is not that love is unnecessary. Love is a profound need of the human heart. But it must come as a gift freely given, not as a reward for chasing. When you hunt for love, you are often seeking control. You are attempting to grasp, to secure, to guarantee affection. But love is not born in control. It arises in freedom. It is the spontaneous meeting of two souls who have learned to stand alone. Real love cannot be coerced, begged, or demanded. It must be received as grace, as something that flows naturally between people who have already embraced their wholeness. The third truth is that when you chase love, you abandon yourself. Every time you ignore your own needs, silence your own voice, or betray your own values to win another's affection, you send a silent message to your psyche. I am not enough as I am. This self-betrayal creates inner resentment. It corrodes your self-respect. Even if you win the temporary affection of the one you chase, you lose the greater love, the love of your own soul. Jung warned against this fragmentation. The path of individuation is not about abandoning yourself for another, but about integrating all parts of your being. Only from that integration can authentic relationships be born. So how do you stop chasing love? The first step is radical self-acceptance. Not the shallow affirmation of pretending to like yourself, but the deep recognition that within you lives both beauty and terror, light and shadow, strength and weakness. To accept this truth is to stop running from yourself. And when you no longer run from yourself, you no longer chase others to escape the confrontation. You stand still, grounded, complete. This stillness is magnetic. People are drawn to those who are not desperate for love but radiate wholeness. The second step is to cultivate solitude. Instead of fearing it, embrace it as a sacred teacher. We have been conditioned to see solitude as a punishment, as if being alone means we have failed at life. From early childhood, society trains us to believe that worth is measured by how many friends we have, how many people desire us, and whether someone chooses us as their partner. And so, many grow up terrified of silence and empty spaces, mistaking them for rejection. But solitude is not rejection. Solitude is the fertile ground where the soul reveals itself. When you enter solitude with openness rather than resistance, something profound happens. You begin to hear the subtle whispers that have long been drowned out by the noise of others' expectations. You discover the quiet voice of your soul, the voice that speaks not in shouts, but in symbols, in images, in feelings that rise from the deep unconscious. These whispers carry neglected dreams, the fragments of childhood longings, the creative impulses you buried to fit in, the wounds that ache for healing. They do not demand, they wait. And when you finally give them the space of solitude, they begin to unfold. Most people fear solitude because in it they meet their shadow, all the repressed parts of themselves that they have tried to avoid. The shadow is not evil. It is simply what has been denied. Perhaps you denied your vulnerability because you were told to be strong. Perhaps you denied your anger because you were told it was unacceptable. Perhaps you denied your sensitivity because the world seemed too harsh. In solitude, these denied parts come knocking. They say, "See me, accept me, integrate me." This confrontation can feel overwhelming, but it is the very thing that sets you free. For the person who befriends their shadow becomes whole. And the whole person does not chase love because they are no longer seeking someone else to carry their denied pieces. Solitude is not a prison, it is a canvas. At first, it may look empty, frightening in its blankness. But that blankness is possibility. Upon it, you can paint your true life, unclouded by the projections and demands of others. In solitude, you learn to ask, what do I truly value? What life do I truly want? What brings me alive when no one is watching? The answers are often surprising. You may discover passions that have been waiting for years. You may discover that you are far more resilient than you thought. And as you create a life that is rooted in your own essence, you will radiate authenticity, and authenticity is magnetic. The third step is to recognize projections when they arise. This is one of Jung's greatest insights. That much of what we see in others is not them, but ourselves, reflected back at us. When you feel overwhelming attraction to someone, when you are consumed with longing, ask yourself, what part of myself have I projected onto this person? What am I chasing in them that I have not claimed in myself? If you are captivated by someone's confidence, it may be because you have buried your own. If you are enchanted by their creativity, it may be because you have silenced yours. If you are drawn to their tenderness, it may be because you have been afraid to reveal your own. The danger of projection is that we give away our power. We see our unlived life in another, and then we chase them desperately, hoping that by being near them, we will regain what we lack. But no other person can carry your unlived life for you. They will inevitably disappoint you, not because they are unworthy, but because no one can bear the weight of another's projections forever. Recognizing projection is not easy because it feels so real. The attraction is intoxicating. The desire feels absolute. But if you pause and reflect, if you dare to look inward, you will see that the qualities you long for in them are seeds within you, waiting to be cultivated. Instead of only longing to be near them, awaken those qualities within yourself. Write, create, speak with confidence. Dare to be tender. In this way, every infatuation becomes a mirror guiding you back to your own depths. You stop being the hunter of others and instead become the discoverer of your own soul. The fourth step is to embrace love not as pursuit but as participation. This is the great shift. Love is not something you chase. It is something you live. Most people think love is about finding someone. They spend their energy searching, hoping, scheming, hunting. But love is not found out there like a hidden treasure. It is created in the very way you live. Every time you bring authenticity into your relationships, you are living love. Every time you are honest instead of pretending, you are living love. Every time you see another person for who they truly are, not as a projection of your desires, but as a human being with their own depths, you are practicing love. Love is not a prize at the end of a chase. It is not a possession, it is a way of being. It is the courage to show up as yourself and to invite another to do the same. When you stop seeing love as pursuit, you also stop seeing people as prey. You no longer approach them with hidden agendas, trying to win them over, trying to make them stay. Instead, you approach them with presence. You give freely without manipulation. You receive without desperation. You participate in the flow of connection. And in that participation, love is born. Love is less about finding the right person and more about becoming the right person, someone capable of giving and receiving freely. Most people enter relationships with closed hands, clutching tightly, fearful of loss. But the one who has embraced solitude, who has faced their shadow, who has claimed their projections, enters with open hands. They do not grasp, they allow, they do not chase, they share. This is the difference between possession and participation. Possession suffocates. Participation liberates. And the fifth step is to trust the natural flow of life. Love often arrives when you are not looking for it. This is not a cliché, it is a psychological truth. When you are desperately hunting, you radiate need, and need repels. It creates tension. It makes the other feel like they are being consumed. But when you stop hunting and start living, when you are immersed in your calling, when you are aligned with your values, when you are alive in your own skin, love appears. It comes not as a hunted prize, but as a natural unfolding. Two lives intersect, not out of desperation, but out of synchronicity, the meaningful coincidences Jung described, the mysterious alignments that happen when you are living from your center. Perhaps you meet someone at the very moment you have embraced your own path. Perhaps you cross paths with them when you are no longer in need, but in overflow. This is love as grace, not as conquest. So I say to you today, stop chasing love right now. Stop running after the illusion that another will complete you. Stop silencing your soul for the sake of being chosen. Stop shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's arms. Instead, choose yourself. Turn inward, face your shadow. Embrace your solitude. Honor your individuality. Trust the unfolding of life. Trust that love will come, not as the prize of your desperation, but as the reflection of your wholeness. Because the truth is this: you were never incomplete. You were never lacking. You were never half a soul wandering the earth in search of another half. That story is a myth that keeps you enslaved. You are already whole, already radiant, already alive. The masculine and feminine already exist within you. The light and shadow already dance within your being. And when you live from this wholeness, love ceases to be a chase and becomes what it was always meant to be, a meeting of two complete beings who see and honor one another as they are. When two incomplete people come together, the relationship becomes a battlefield of needs. Each demands the other fill the holes within them. Each projects their unlived life onto the other, then resents them when they cannot carry it. Such relationships are marked by control, jealousy, manipulation, and fear. But when two whole people come together, something entirely different happens. They do not seek to complete one another, but to celebrate one another. They are not two beggars fighting for scraps, but two fountains overflowing into each other's lives. Their love is not built on need, but on freedom. Do not be the beggar of love. Be the fountain. A beggar waits for someone to give them what they cannot give themselves. A fountain flows because it is full, and its fullness nourishes others. Which do you wish to be? If you wait like a beggar, you will always be at the mercy of others' choices. If you become the fountain, you will always have love to give, whether or not another stands beside you. Do not be the hunter. Be the flame. The hunter chases, striving, sweating, desperate to catch the prize. The flame does not chase, it simply burns. It radiates warmth and light. And because it burns authentically, it draws others naturally. They are drawn not by manipulation, but by the beauty of the fire. Become that flame, burn with your own passion. Live your own truth, radiate your own light. And here lies the paradox. When you stop chasing love, when you stop making it the goal, when you live as a fountain and burn as a flame, love finds you. Not always in the way you expect, not always on the timeline you demand, but in the mysterious, synchronistic rhythm of life. And when it comes, you will not grasp at it. You will not cling to it in fear. You will hold it with open hands, grateful and free. So stop chasing love, live your life, face your shadow. Embrace your solitude, integrate your projections. Participate in love as a way of being, trust the flow of life. And above all, remember, you are already whole. And when you live as whole, love will not be something you chase. It will be something you are.